Hey guys, in this occasion I bring you a second generation battle against Marky, another one more time, so let's start with it. I start with Gasly and he starts with Octillery. I used Rain Dance. I don't know why I have used it, because he profited it by using Surf against my Gasly and he finished it with my Gasly. So, with my Mastermind, I paralyze his Octillery and I put my light screen. He uses me Surf, but my light screen helps me a lot. I go with Psychic. He switches out and he sends me his Mr. Mime. I paralyze his Mr. Mime and he paralyzed mine as well. I switch into Sneasel. He put his light screen and I go with Shadow Ball, but he predicts me and switches into Pinnacle. So I go with Reflect and he put his spikes on the ground. I use Rain Dance again. He uses Toxic on my Sneasel and my Sneasel gets poisonously badly. So I switch out my Dewgong. I use Surf, but it doesn't make anything to his Octillery. So I switch into Mr. Mime. He uses me Surf another one more time. The rain is still on the battle. I use light screen. He is paralyzed. I go with Psychic, but he predicts me and he uses his Mr. Mime. I go with Encore, but he is paralyzed and he finds out my Encore set, so I had to switch my Pokémon and I sent out my Sneasel. This time I go with Reflect, because I knew he was going to switch. He uses his Pinnacle. I switch into Dewgong. He uses me Hidden Power, but it didn't do anything to my Dewgong. I switch into my Sudowoodo, but he switches to his Mr. Mime as well. I go with, well, I switch it out as well as he did. I use my Sneasel and he uses his Tangela. I use Return, but Tangela's defense is really high. Tangela has lost his high special defense that he used to have in the first generation, but he is still a good physical defense Pokemon. I use my Hitmontop and I go with high. Well, my Hitmontop was paralyzed. I go with Counter, but he uses Cures and I wouldn't. Well, I couldn't do my counter set. He uses Cures another one more time, so I went with Rest. he uses me return. I use counter, but unfortunately my Hatmontop was defeated. I go with Ice Punch, trying to freeze him, but he used me Whirlwind, and my Sudowoodo was sent out from the battle. So I use my Mr. Mime, but unfortunately he defeats him again. I go with my Sneasel. I go with Return, but since he has done so many curses, I couldn't defeat him. I go with Ice Beam, trying to do the most damage as possible. He uses me Whirlwind another one more time, and my Sudowoodo goes to the battle. I go with Ice Punch, trying to freeze him, but as I has thought, he goes with Rest. I go with Rock Slide, trying to do the most damage as possible. But yeah, this generation has got a lot of tank Pokemon, so the battles are long. He switches out and he sends out his Tangela. I go with Rock Slide. I go with Rock Slide another one more time, because I was thinking he was going to switch, but he didn't switch. Since I couldn't do anything more, I go with Ice Punch, but he finishes my Sudowoodo with his Giga Train. Well, you could think that the battle was already done, but not. My Dewgong refused to die. I go with Ice Beam, which made a lot of damage to his Tangela, but it wasn't strong enough like to defeat him. So he switches and he sends out his Mr. Mime. I go with Ice Beam. I go with Ice Beam another one more time. He's fully paralyzed, which is really great to me. I go with Surf, trying to do the most damage as possible. Okay, I have defeated one of them. I go with Ice Beam, because the Pinnacle's special defense is really weak. Two of them are down. He sent out his Octillery. I go with Rest. And yeah, my Dewgong wasn't able to defeat his Octillery, but his Octillery couldn't defeat my Dewgong as well. So he had to make a switch. I was with Sleep Talk all the time, and my Dewgong was using Rest, and he was using Surf. But since we have both got leftovers, the battle wouldn't have finished. Never. Ever. He uses me Giga Drain, which makes me a lot of damage. I go with Sleep Talk. I use Surf against his Tangela, but it's not very effective. He uses me Giga Drain another one more time. So okay, Sleep Talk, but my Dewgong woke up. So I went with rest, trying to do the battle as long as possible. And this is always the same thing. I use sleep talk with my Dewgong, but he uses all the time rest, and the battle won't finish it. Won't finish. This time he used Ice Beam against his Noctowl, but he used Curse, and I was able to defeat him. He uses me a return, and I finished him with Ice Beam. So 3 of them were down. I go with Ice Beam, but since Octillery is water type, it didn't work. I go with Rest because it can do another thing. He's fully paralyzed. So I go with Sleep Talk. He doesn't know what to do, so he decides to switch into his Tangela. I go with Sleep Talk, and I use Ice Beam, which makes a lot of damage to his Tangela. He uses me Hidden Power, but it didn't work to me. I go with Ice Beam, and I finish with his Tangela. He sends me his Octillery, but we did a deal, and that was all.